Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanatimiransasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Empowering me. Hare Krishna. Yesterday we discussed some lessons from the story of Dhruva Maharaj, specifically in connection with intensifying our absorption in chanting the holy names of Krishna. Today we'll continue the story. Dhruva Maharaj, after attaining the darshan of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he became so enlivened. He even regretted for the mistakes that he has committed earlier. What was the mistake? To hold revengeful thoughts towards his stepmother, to hold envy towards his stepbrother, and to also aspire for a material result, a material position of being greater than even Lord Brahma, his great-grandfather. In this way, Dhruva Maharaj, he maintained material desires, but he uh, regretted for those material desires. When we have material desires in our devotional service, we will have to regret. Anyways, the Lord has granted what he wanted earlier, although he did not want it now. But what did he want now? He wanted the association of devotees. He wanted bhaktim mahoho pravahatam tvayime prasango bhuyad ananta mahatam amalashayanam yenanja solbanam arubhyasanam bhavabdhim naishye bhavad gunakatham vratapanamattaha. He just wanted to associate with devotees and hear Krishna Katha in that association. That's all he wanted, nothing more. But the Lord definitely would grant that. He said, you come to Dhruva Loka, which is basically my Loka, my Vaikuntha planet. And the Lord also said, your stepmother will die while searching for your stepbrother. She will go to the forest and she will die in a forest fire. And how would the brother die? Brother would die when he would go for hunting. He will be killed by a yaksha. So the Lord personally pronounced this death. Dhruva Maharaj was not yet a Vaishnav when he was insulted by Mother Suruchi. Still, in 6 months, he became a pure Vaishnav. And Suruchi insulted Dhruva, and the Lord is personally mentioning what kind of result Suruchi would get for offending Dhruva. We should not offend devotees, no doubt, but we should not offend anybody. Even if they are not devotees yet at this moment. Potentially they are devotees, right? They can become devotees. Everybody is a soul, eternally a child of the Lord. The potency to love Krishna and serve Krishna is there within them. Right now it may be covered by ignorance, false ego and material desires. But ultimately they are all children of God. They are meant to be connected with the Lord and they can become pure devotees. So why should we offend anybody? When a devotee has genuine good character, he or she respects everybody for whatever they are. No discrimination. Okay, devotees, I need to respect. Those are not yet devotees, nothing like non-devotee as such. Although we keep using the term sometimes, it's like not like non-devotee, not yet a devotee. Potentially, they can be devotees. If not now, after 10 years, maybe after 20 years, maybe after 10 lifetimes, they can become a devotee. Opportunity is there, potential is there. Someone has not yet tapped the potential, or they are not yet ready for it, probably because of the material desires. But every jiva can become a devotee. Forget human beings, even non-human beings also can become devotees. So we should never offend a devotee. We should never offend any living being. Offense to holy name. The first offense to holy name is Vaishnava Aparad. So Suniti was the Supreme Lord Vishnu personally predicted that Suruchi will die in this way and Uttama will die in that way. Of course, Uttama has never offended. He's a small child, he's sitting. But he became an object of Dhruva's envy. However, there are some more deeper insights that we can learn here. Now soon Dhruva came back to his home, and to cut the long story short, Dhruva Maharaj was very nicely welcomed by his father Uttanapad. Although Uttanapad did a mistake before, he offended Suniti and Dhruva, still Uttanapad Maharaj repented for his mistake, regretted sincerely, and he did not repeat the mistake again. He started treating Suniti nicely, and he was waiting for Dhruva to come back. He also expressed his repentant heart to Narada Muni. Doing mistakes is common, even for ordinary people and great souls. Committing mistakes is common. But the person who has committed a mistake, he should realize the mistake, admit the mistake, apologize for the mistake, try to rectify the mistake as much as possible, and try not to repeat that mistake, and sincerely repent for the mistake and remember the mistake. Uttanapad did all this. He received Dhruva very affectionately. I don't want to get lost in the details of the story, but I want to come to the main point of holy name. In the first half of Dhruva's story, there's a lot of emphasis on holy name. In the second half also, there is a lot of emphasis. Uttanapad Maharaj made Dhruva the king, and he retired from the kingdom, and Dhruva was ruling nicely. And as it is predicted by Lord Vishnu, Uttama died in the hands of a yaksha when he went to the forest for hunting. And Suruchi also entered the forest searching for Uttama, and she also died in a forest fire. And this news came to Dhruva. And Dhruva felt so morose, so unhappy, so sad. Dhruva Maharaj went to Alakapuri region to fight with the yakshas who have killed his brother. One yaksha killed his brother Uttama, but Dhruva wanted to fight with the yakshas. He became very emotional. He became very overwhelmed by this. Now you may ask, how can a devotee become so emotional, so overwhelmed by the death of his brother? The answer is simple. Devotees are not emotionless rocks. Just because we know philosophy, that does not mean that philosophical understanding should kill our emotions. Philosophy is not meant to kill emotions. Philosophy is meant to channelize our emotions in a very reasonable way so that we don't become dysfunctional by being emotional. Sometimes when we are overwhelmed with so many emotions, we could get very dysfunctional, we can not function properly. But Dhruva Maharaj became quite emotional, and it was reasonable at this moment, as a person who lost his dear brother Uttama, he felt emotional. Earlier he had envy towards Uttama, but now he had no envy. Earlier he was revengeful towards Suruchi, but now he had no revenge. Now, he cannot take revenge on forest fire. But he can definitely teach a lesson to Yakshas. So Dhruva, and also as a king, he is supposed to take an action against an offender. If somebody has unceremoniously killed his brother, a king cannot keep quiet. The king is supposed to go and punish the person. So he tried to do that. Dhruva took his weapons, mounted a chariot. He went all the way to Alakapuri and he started fighting with the Yakshas. So Dhruva went and twanged his bow. Then all the Yakshas understood somebody is coming to fight with us. 130,000 Yakshas came out to fight with Dhruva. And Dhruva was single-handedly fighting with them. Dhruva was releasing 3 arrows at a time, not one. And the Yakshas were releasing 6 arrows at a time. How many Yakshas? 130,000. If each of them releases 6 arrows at a time, how many? Let the kids answer. 6 arrows by 130,000 Yakshas. How many arrows are coming towards Dhruva? Huh? Mahatma? You only count the holy names, not arrows. 130K into 6. Uh-huh. 780K. 780,000 arrows were coming towards Dhruva. How much time it takes to release an arrow? Oh, I know you have no experience, but still, just common sense. Huh? 1 second means every 1 second, 780,000 arrows were coming towards Dhruva. And what's happening to Dhruva? Nothing happened. There may be hundreds of clouds in the sky, but can they cover the sun completely? They can cover our vision, but not affect the sun. So much of rain may fall on a mountain. Will the mountain move even 1 inch? Nothing will happen. Similarly, Dhruva is like a mountain. Although he's covered with torrents of rain, 780,000 drops of water. What will the drops of water do to the mountain? Nothing. In fact, these rainwaters will nicely clean the mountain. If there is any dust there on the mountain, all the dust will be washed away by the rains. Nobody will go with a scrubber and soap and water to wash the mountain, right? So rains will clean the mountain. So that's so whatever little incompetency or hesitation Dhruva might have had in fighting with the Yakshas, all that is being washed away and is coming out with rejuvenated spirit to fight with the Yakshas. In short, Dhruva was fighting with the Yakshas and nothing happened to him, and Yakshas were getting defeated because of Dhruva's determination and great competency. At one point, Yakshas felt that we cannot fight with Dhruva. He's so powerful. All of them left the battlefield and ran away. And Dhruva was alone standing there. And Dhruva thought, I have never seen this Alakapuri kingdom. Let me just go into the kingdom and search for this. Explore the kingdom and understand how beautiful it is. For example, when you come to a new place, there's some curiosity. Let me just go into the marketplaces. Let me go into the most ancient heritage spots. Some excitement is there for sightseeing and exploring. So Dhruva thought, let me just do it. But after a moment, Dhruva thought, I thought fight is over, but fight may not be over also. Maybe these Yakshas will come back with greater force and they may attack me. They also have mystic powers. They know black arts. I should not unnecessarily or over enthusiastically think that fight is finished. Fight may still be there. Let me patiently wait. Let me not explore the kingdom of Alakapuri. Let me just patiently wait. What's going to happen? He was alert, very attentive. As expected by Dhruva, Yakshas came back with greater force. This time, not just with 7,80,000 arrows that Dhruva could easily handle. This time they created black arts. They created a mystic mountain in the sky. The mountain was showering all kinds of blood, bones, urine, stool, mucus, pus, and all abominable substances. And also, they created some mystic animals. There were some big snakes that were emanating fire. You have seen that painting? Big tiger emanating fire, and then horses and elephants and mm, rhinoceros and all kinds of ferocious animals. And also Dhruva saw flood, Dhruva saw rain. It created a very ferocious and mystic ambience. It's not a straightforward fight. Dhruva did not know whom to fight with. He was completely bewildered. He was confused. When they were fighting in a straightforward manner, Dhruva was able to win them. But when they took to this kind of magical illusions, Dhruva just could not handle it. He was confused. He was bewildered. Then to rescue Dhruva, some sages came there. The sages came and said, Dhruva, you should use Narayanastra. You chant the holy name of Narayana and fix an astra, fix an arrow on your bow and release Narayanastra. That will dispel all the illusions of Dhruva, of the Yakshas. Then Dhruva was reminded of this Narayanastra. He picked up this astra. As soon as he fixed that arrow on his bow, millions and millions of weapons, different types of weapons started emanating from that arrow, and shafts and clubs and spears and all kinds of weapons started emanating from that arrow, and they just killed, they dispelled all the illusions, demonic illusions created by Yakshas. This is how Dhruva could counteract simply by Narayanastra. Now let's go back and analyze this story a bit. Initially, Dhruva was able to uh, fight with the Yakshas and defeat them very easily, very effortlessly. Similarly, a sadhaka in the initial days of his sadhana may be able to defeat Maya. Although Maya is presenting so many temptations, so many allurements, still we may be able to overcome those temptations and we may get fixed up in our uh, sadhana sometimes. Initially, there are so many obstacles. Now, many sadhakas have this experience also. Initially, when they come to Krishna consciousness, there is opposition from family, opposition from society, some financial crisis from health, some health crisis. So somehow the internal determination will just come out so much that they can clear these obstacles and then move ahead uh, in their sadhana and take to the path of Krishna consciousness, and they may become little fixed up in their chanting and all. Especially those who join Brahmacharya ashram, they have some special experiences where they had to fight so much with society, family. People would say you're irresponsible towards your family. You're ignoring your duties towards your family, parents, and all. You have no gratitude. So many things, so many opposing arguments. And some discouragement. People will tease us. What happened to him? ISKCON has changed his mind. His brain has been washed away. In this way, not only brahmacharis, 100 times more grahasthas also. They are trying to do their sadhana, Krishna conscious sadhana. They must have started somewhere in their 20s or 30s. And the family members, they start opposing. There's no compatibility. You stopped onion garlic? My God, what happened to you? Who changed your mind? Why can't you eat non-veg? Our family has been eating non-veg since time immemorial. Why are you starting a new sampradaya from now? Not even onion garlic. You stopped movies? My God, there is enjoyment without movies. You don't go for a restaurant. You don't go for bars or pubs and all like that. People who are accustomed to certain lifestyle, they just cannot, digest this new lifestyle. Krishna Prasadam. Prasadam means once in a while, once in a month when you go to temple, what comes in your hand is prasadam. Every day prasadam, all 3 meals prasadam. Every grain you start offering, little wonder. People keep. Earlier I could see like every meal you offer prasadam means once in a festival day you need to offer to the Lord, not on a daily basis. In this way, we receive a lot of opposition, but somehow we manage to traverse through all of them. Simple dressing style, Vaishnav Tilak, Kanti Mala, and we can cross certain obstacles easily and then become little serious, good standing devotees. Somehow we manage to do that. So initial 5-6 years may be adventure. We are eager to go to dhams, we are eager to go to uh, do service, Vaishnava Seva. We start respecting all the devotees initially. Like that, 5-6 years or like maybe a decade will pass. Then Maya will come back with greater force. Dhruva could initially overcome all the obstacles presented by the yakshas with straightforward weapons, trivial weapons. He could easily dispel all of them, and finally he became victorious. And he was even alert. Maybe there may be bigger problems, so let me just be alert. He did not take his victory for granted also. But still, when yakshas came with greater force, Dhruva could not take it. Dhruva was bewildered. Similarly, as we progress in bhakti, Maya can present greater obstacles. This obstacle could be name, fame, prestige, position, privileges. Maya can present much, much greater obstacles than a straightforward weapon, like Yakshas did. When the Yakshas created magical illusions, Dhruva did not know what to do. What am I supposed to do? He even forgot. He knows Narayanastra. He has the knowledge of applying Narayanastra, but he forgot that. Similarly, in our sadhaka life, sometimes we may face so many allurements and temptations in this world. Although we know the solution, we won't be able to apply the solution. Although we know holy name works, we cannot take shelter of holy name because the bewilderment of Maya is so intense. So we should never take it for granted. Just because we have become little seasoned, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years of practice, that does not mean we will be unaffected by Maya. Maya can catch anybody at any time. Maya can catch us through our good qualities also, not only our weaknesses. Bharat Maharaj, we discussed yesterday, he did not have any lust or envy or pride or greed. He had compassion. Through compassion, Maya caught him. So Maya is so powerful, we can never underestimate Maya. And Krishna said, Daivi hiesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Mama maya duratyaya means my Maya is very difficult to surpass. You cannot surpass Maya so easily. What helps us overcome Maya? The holy name of Krishna. But we don't know. Although we are aware of this fact, we may not have the sufficient strength or common sense or intelligence or diligence to use the weapon of holy name to counteract the allurements of Maya. Sometimes we become so weak-hearted. At that time, what comes to our rescue? Who comes to our rescue? The devotees of Krishna. When Dhruva was stuck in his fight with Yakshas, who came to his rescue? The sages came and reminded him, you chant the holy name of Narayana. You release Narayanastra. Then you will be able to dispel all these illusions. Therefore, just because we are aware of the potency of holy name, that's not sufficient. We need to be with the devotees who can remind us that we have to be fixed up in holy name. We know holy name is solution to all problems. But when the Maya attacks us with greater force, we won't be able to apply that solution. How many of you know the formulas, mathematics formula? A plus B whole square. What is A plus B whole square? Mahatma? Yes, you know. What is A plus B whole square? A square plus 2AB plus B square. I don't know if that formulas are there in America. Yeah, correct. We may know all these kinds of formulas. So in the exam, you may get some problem. Teacher may give some problem. You try to solve it. You have the knowledge. You know the formula. But you may not be able to apply the right formula to solve the problem. You may apply a different formula. And solution is something else. You'll get 0 marks in that question. So although we are aware of solutions, we may not have the ability to apply the solutions at the right time. On the spur of the moment, we won't be able to respond appropriately on the spur of the moment to a specific temptation presented by Maya in front of us. At that time, we desperately need the association of devotees. We cannot perform bhakti on our own. We may know the philosophy, we may know deity worship is there, we may be fixed up in deity worship, we may be chanting the holy names since long time. But still, without devotees association, we may not be able to exhibit that strength, demonstrate that strength to chant. So devotees have to remind us. When you're chanting alone, we may be tempted to do something else also. One finger is on the, what is it? Keypad. iPad or keypad of the laptop. One finger is moving, left hand is moving, right hand is counting the fingers. There are browsing sites and all while doing this. You may chant while working, but we cannot work while chanting. There's a difference. There are 16 rounds. Okay, let's keep that focus on it without any other distracting our minds towards other things. But when you're working, you can chant some extra rounds, not an issue. So chanting while working is okay, but working while chanting is the problem. So sometimes we may be very much caught up in the temptations and allurements of Maya. So we need association of devotees. Devotees will remind us what is right, what is wrong, what kind of solution to apply. So Dhruva Maharaj, he was reminded of Narayanastra by the sages, and he released Narayanastra. And with Narayanastra, he dispelled all the illusions. We can never become overconfident of our sadhana. Then, what's the time now? I think I'll take more questions today. We'll conclude early. So Dhruva Maharaj just released astras, Narayanastra, and he dispelled all the illusions with the Narayanastra. So he conquered the yakshas again. But now another kind of problem in his life. What is that? He went little overboard. That enthusiasm or that excitement of conquering the yakshas and dispelling all their magical illusions instigated Dhruva to unnecessarily kill so many yakshas for one yaksha's mistake. One yaksha killed his brother, but he's trying to kill all the yakshas. He's unnecessarily trying to, kill hundreds and thousands of yakshas who were not offenders. He became a victim of rage, extra anger, excessive anger, atirosha. And he lost discrimination. Sometimes Maya may present certain allurements and you're condemning them, you're staying away from them, you're trying to destroy them. But that does not mean everything around you is Maya. You can't start hating everybody. He is not devotee, let me just blaspheme him. Some materialistic person is coming and presenting some allurements. That is Maya. We are not getting tempted. That's great. You are just replying them appropriately and then chasing away so that you can protect your bhakti lata. That is also great. Amazing. But that does not mean you keep on blaspheming everybody who may not be chanting Hare Krishna. sometimes there is this tendency to blaspheme those who are practicing the spiritual culture also. They may not be practicing spiritual culture the way you are doing, but they are worshipping some other form of the Lord. They may be chanting some other mantra. They may be following certain sadhana which is of a different flavor, and your sadhana has a certain flavor. Prabhupada says you should never criticize another Vaishnava sampradaya. You have your sampradaya, you must stick to your sampradaya. That does not mean you demean or disrespect other bona fide Vaishnava sampradaya. Sometimes in our enthusiasm to glorify and highlight our own Vaishnava sampradaya, we may consciously or unconsciously criticize or disrespect or demean another bona fide Vaishnava sampradaya and other Vaishnavas. And we may criticize everything that's happening around, which may not be apparently directly Krishna conscious. Right? Sometimes are good. We may criticize technology. We may criticize scientists. We may criticize other Vaishnava sampradayas. We may not sufficiently appreciate people who are very genuine in their character. They may not be at following spiritual culture, but they have something good in them. You should not fail to appreciate. They're honest in their dealings. They're kind. Ramanujacharya, once he wanted to go to Balaji temple. On the way, he has seen a washerman. And because Ramanujacharya was a bit confused, should I take left turn or right turn? The way is not very clear to him. He was accompanied by his disciples. Then he asked the washerman, "Washerman, can you please show me the way to the temple, Balaji temple?" He said, "You go this way." He pointed out the accurate way. Then all the disciples of Ramanujacharya moved ahead towards that direction. Then after a minute of walking, they found that their guru, Ramanujacharya, is not there with them. So they looked back. They found that Ramanujacharya fell flat at the feet of this washerman, offering him obeisances. And they asked, "Gurudev, why are you offering obeisances to that washerman? He is so insignificant compared to you. You are a great Acharya. You are our Guru. You are a Brahmana. You are a Vaishnava. You are so dear to the Lord. How can you fall at the feet of some lowly or insignificant washerman?" Of course, they didn't say all this literally, but somewhere that understanding is there. Ramanujacharya said, "This washerman showed me the way to Balaji temple. He is the one who is directing me towards the lotus feet of Lord Venkateshwara. How can I not respect him? How can I not offer obeisances to him?" This is how a devotee respects everybody. Devotees don't demean or disrespect anyone. No, washerman may not be an initiated disciple of Ramanujacharya. He may not be Pujari of Lord Balaji. He may not be following Vaishnava culture also. We don't know what's background. But still, he had one good thing. He showed the way to temple. Ramanujacharya is grateful to him and offering obeisances to him. So we should not unnecessarily demean or disrespect anybody. Why should we do so? Even if they are not Vaishnavas, even if they're not yet Vaishnavas, or even if they're following another kind of Vaishnava line, respect everyone. You may not associate with them very closely, but what's the problem in respecting them? Close association you may avoid. You may have your own sampradaya, you may have your own way of worshipping the Lord, and your guru taught you in a certain way, and then you can pursue that path. Absolutely no problem. But pursuing your path should not make you criticize other paths, which are bona fide paths. And even if great acharyas criticize materialistic people, they do it out of compassion, not out of pride. Are you proudly criticizing somebody or compassionately criticizing somebody? The best example, parents may point out the faults and defects in the work done by children sometimes, but it's not done out of hatred or grudge. It is done with a genuine well-wishing intent to uplift them from wherever they are. All this will affect our chanting of holy names. This consciousness of criticizing others, blaspheming others, disrespecting others, not tolerating even small inconveniences, being very proud and arrogant, not being humble, all this will ultimately affect how prayerfully and respectfully we chant the holy names of Krishna. They have direct impact on our chanting. We won't be able to chant well when we have critical mentality, blasphemous mentality, constructive criticism, desiring for the welfare of the other person is fine. We are doing it as a well-wisher. When Prabhupada criticizes Mayavadis or scientists and all, that's done out of compassion, a concern. My God, why are they wasting their human life in this way? Why are they getting caught up in so many unnecessary arguments and experiments? Why can't they just take the simple process of chanting the holy names of Krishna and then practice spiritual life? So there's a concern, there's a compassion, but not pride or arrogance in criticism. I'm better than them. Someone who is proud in criticizing others, there is no mood of uplifting them or helping them or even praying for them. The mood is only, I am better than them. That's all. Sometimes when somebody criticizes, the criticism is just to show one superior position over the other person. Then that criticism is invalid. That criticism is baseless, and that's not good. But somebody may criticize other person, but out of compassion, concern, they need to come to this level. So that kind of concernful criticism, and in that criticism also there is some prayerful attitude. They are praying for the upliftment of that person. Just like Prahalad Maharaj criticizes. Naivo dvije para duratyaya vaitaranyah tadvirya gayanamaha amritamagna chittaha soche tato vimukhache indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudha. He says, vimudha, they are like foolish asses. They are like donkeys. Vimudha. Now, you cannot say Prahalad is very proud, very arrogant. He's calling people vimudhas. That is not the point there. Maya Sukhaya Bharamudvahato. They are carrying the burden, great burden of material happiness. Maya Sukhaya Bharamudvahato. They're carrying the burden of material happiness. Vimudha. Therefore, I'm calling them asses. Why asses specifically? In the olden days, washermen used to carry the clothes that they need to wash on the backs of donkeys. In reciprocation with all the wonderful service done with the donkeys, you know what they give? They give some grass. Prabhupada says the donkey can get that grass anywhere. He need not carry so much burden of so many clothes for a washerman to just get that little grass. Grass is everywhere. That is foolishness. That is vimudha. So Prabhupada, Prahalad Maharaj is criticizing materialistic people who are wasting their valuable human form of life to get some material happiness, illusory material happiness. It's not worth. You may like gulab jamun, but if somebody says this gulab jamun is $10,000, will you take it? You like gulab jamun? If somebody charges $10,000 for one gulab jamun, will you pay? Not worth it. There's some happiness in it, but you can't just pay so much for it. Similarly, there may be some happiness in sense pleasures, temporary, illusory happiness in sense pleasures, but you can't just use this valuable human form of life for that meager pleasure that's available even for cats and dogs. When you're having human form of life, you can't pay the price of this human body for that material pleasure, which is available even for cats and dogs and rats and ants and many other species. When we have something higher, let's use this for something better. So coming back to Dhruva's case, Dhruva became a victim of excessive anger and he started destroying all the yakshas, although these yakshas were not offenders. One yaksha may be an offender. He killed his brother and Dhruva wanted to kill him. That's fine. As a king, he's supposed to punish people who have done some mistakes. but he's destroying the entire race of yakshas. For one man's mistake, you cannot condemn an entire race or entire family or a society or a group or a nation for one person's mistake. But Dhruva was doing that. Similarly, we may also become excessively angry at people who may not be practicing bhakti and unnecessarily criticize them or demean them or disrespect them and become arrogant and then exhibit some kind of a superiority complex, and all this will impact our japa, our prayerful attitude towards Krishna. So Dhruva Maharaj's episode teaches us how holy name protects us in various ways. In the initial stages of his bhakti, it was Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya that saved him, that showed him Krishna. In the later stages of his life, it is Narayana, Astra, holy name of Narayana, that helped him dispel all the illusions. When Dhruva became outrageous, then who came to his rescue? Swayambhu Manu came and told. Swayambhu Manu said, my dear grandson, what are you doing? Just for one yaksha's mistake, you are trying to kill all the yakshas. Is it appropriate on your part to do so? Please don't do it. This excessive anger will is a path to hell. You already received great blessings and benedictions from Lord Narayana directly at the age of 5. You are a recipient of great mercy. Your flight to Vaikuntha has already been booked. But just before boarding the flight, you are throwing the boarding pass away. You are tearing the boarding card. Then who will allow you into the flight? We, by the mercy of Acharyas, we have received the boarding pass. Our flight is booked to Vaikuntha or Goloka. So we have received the boarding pass. When we are offending Vaishnavas, and when we are offending any living being for that matter, what to speak of Vaishnavas? When we are offending or disrespecting anybody, or trying to cheat them or hurt them or criticize them in anyone, we are tearing the boarding pass. Then they will ask, security people are standing at the entrance gate. Where is your boarding card? I don't have. I just earned it. I have booked the ticket. Show me. Show that thing. You have to scan. You have to, unless the barcode is scanned, you will not be allowed entrance into the aircraft. Or just throwing the passport. Or you're throwing the visa. So we should never criticize anyone unnecessarily. And whatever little criticism we may have to do in our day-to-day interactions, that must be done only with a well-wishing intent. That too done with due caution and appropriately, in appropriate quantity. Do it at the right time, in the right quantity, using the right words. Then your feedbacks or suggestions or whatever, finding out faults and rectifying the faults, all this will give a positive impact, will lead to a positive result. Otherwise, if we just show our superiority over other people through criticism, that will only take away our taste for chanting the holy names of Krishna, kill our enthusiasm to practice devotional service. So, why should we waste the mercy that we have received? Let's not miss the opportunity. Initially, we have crossed so many obstacles, faced so much opposition from the society and family, and then we managed to overcome all the obstacles, and then finally came to a stage where we are chanting Hare Krishna, chanting the holy names of Krishna. And by being proud or arrogant of our current position, why should we unnecessarily miss our opportunity to become an object of Krishna's grace? These are a few thoughts. I think we'll conclude here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय। Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki jai. So we have some time and see if devotees have any questions. You can raise your hands on the Zoom and maybe you can unmute yourself and ask your question. If you have any questions. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Govind Priya Mataji. Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was a great lecture, very educational. I had one question, Prabhuji, about Dhruv Maharaj. So he's a great sadhaka. Sorry, not sadhaka. He's a great devotee. He attained perfection, but he killed so many other yakshas, right? So, but he still goes to spiritual world at the end. So there's no. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just asking out of curiosity.
Yes,
There's no punishment.
it's a valid question. There is no punishment for. Actually, future killing was stopped, but what about the past killing? This Swayambhu Manu came and advised Dhruva, he should stop this fight. He stopped. He stopped killing the Yakshas. But before Swayambhu Manu came, has been killing so many Yakshas. Where is punishment for that? Actually, it is revealed in the conversation between Dhruva and Kuvera. Kuvera makes one point. Swayambhu Manu tells Dhruva Maharaj, you should go and beg forgiveness from Kuvera. You should just fall at his feet and then say, I'm sorry for all the killing that you have done. He is the king of all Yakshas. We have offended a great personality by killing his citizens. Then Dhruva goes. And Kuvera says, our Yakshas did not kill your brother. Please understand that. No, they have killed, definitely. But Kuvera says, please understand, Yakshas are not the cause of your brother's death. And similarly, you are not the cause of Yaksha's death. It is the Supreme Lord who has sanctioned the death of all these personalities. Dhruva definitely did a mistake in killing so many Yakshas, but that is also under the umbrella of Krishna's higher plan as acknowledged by Kuvera. Although apparently an innocent person becomes an object of the wrath of an angry person and then loses his life or just damages himself in some way, that's not happening randomly. It's happening by a perfect arrangement by the Lord and the energies of the Lord. He deserves to be killed, and the Lord utilized this person who becomes angry unceremoniously to give him the death punishment. Right? So when we deserve some punishment, we may receive that punishment through another agent who may deliberately, consciously give that punishment to us, or accidentally, circumstantially, unconsciously give that punishment to us. But I will not get punishment randomly. So all the Yakshas deserve to be killed. And what about Dhruva? He consciously killed these people. At one point, he could not control himself. Out of lack of self-control, he killed the Yakshas. What about him? Will he not get any reaction? The answer to this question is because he was obedient in front of Swayambhu Manu. He sincerely repented for his mistake. He did not repeat the mistake. He begged forgiveness for the mistake. And the person who is the recipient of all the negativity created by the Dhruva, he forgave him wholeheartedly. He did not hold any grudges. So he begged forgiveness, Dhruva begged forgiveness, and Kuvera forgave wholeheartedly. And the transaction is very clear and it's finished. So Dhruva was unaffected by it. His killing is definitely a mistake on his part, but he repented for it and he rectified it. So he was unaffected. And why this killing happened in the first place? Some Yakshas deserved to be killed in the hands of Dhruva, therefore it happened. And it is also mentioned that by being killed in the hands of Dhruva, they got higher planets. Because Dhruva is a devotee. That doesn't justify Dhruva's anger. because Dhruva's anger is very thoroughly disapproved by Swayambhu Manu in 2 chapters, 4.10 and 20, 10 and 11. It was disapproved. So we should understand what not to do by seeing the mistakes of great souls, but we should not disrespect them also. Just because they did that one mistake, that doesn't put them in a lower position. They are exalted, but they through their activities they're giving us some message what we are not supposed to do. Does it answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So we have a couple more questions here on the chat. One is from Suvarnangi Mataji, and she's asking that Dhruva Maharaj got bewildered even after performing so much of austerity and seeing the Lord himself. And he was self-realized, and still he was attacked by Maya. So how can we understand, as we are still trying to become like a sadhana bhakta?
This is a caution note for all of us. If Dhruva could be bewildered, who are we?
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj at Bhava stage could become a victim of his own compassion. At least Dhruva became a victim of his anger. But Bharat became a victim of compassion. A positive quality pulled him into Maya and made him an animal in the next life. So, this observation that we have made here, that must be an inspiration for us to practice bhakti with more sincerity, without any offenses to others. Even such great souls can also get affected by Maya sometimes, but they will immediately come back to normal. Dhruva Maharaj's excessive anger only made him repentant and rectify the mistake, and he never repeated the mistake. And Bharat Maharaj, he became excessively compassionate on the deer, and later he entered a deer body, and because of the deer body, he became more prayerful, he became more repentant. So what the great souls are teaching us is, mistakes are common, but one who has done a mistake should not justify the mistake, but try to rectify the mistake and repent for the mistake and try to overcome it with the help of great souls. When Dhruva became distracted, Swayambhu Manu came and advised. When Dhruva became bewildered, the sages came and gave him an advice to use Narayanastra. So Dhruva had the association of devotees. Time to time, devotees are coming and helping him. When Dhruva became overly ambitious, Narada Muni came and guided him. Even before that, Suniti Mata guided him. So Dhruva received this counseling and guidance from sages, Swayambhu Manu, Narada Muni, Suniti. So many people are helping him. He had devotee association. Therefore, although he was doing some mistakes, again he came back. He's back to normal. But Bharat was not like that. He did not have access to association of devotees. He was alone struggling. Therefore, although he went to Bhava stage, he fell down from there. So we need to keep ourselves in the association of devotees always. That's a lesson.
And one more question about Maya in the form of health crisis. So if Maya puts health crisis, then how should we react strongly? Because conditioning of body is very strong, which makes us lack in our sadhana. This is from Shamala Gopika Mata.
It all depends on the perspective. Health crisis may not be presented by Maya. So it could be an arrangement of Krishna also. Why should we see it as an arrangement of Maya only? In one sense, it's Maya. Body itself is Maya, and all the problems or pleasures of the body are also Maya. Body is a manifestation of Maya. All the defects of the body, strength of the body, weaknesses of the body, all these are also Maya from one perspective. But when a devotee is facing some health crisis, that need not be Maya. We can also see them as gifts of Krishna. Krishna, because I am not taking your shelter completely in a healthy state of existence, at least this this poor health or sickness will help me more prayer, to become more prayer and take your shelter. That's good. That's very good, isn't it? So we have this example of Vidura. Vidura was sincerely serving the throne of Hastinapur. He advised Dhritarashtra, please don't listen to Duryodhan. He will only defame your dynasty and destroy your dynasty. Better give the rightful share of the Pandavas to Pandavas. And at this moment, Duryodhan entered that assembly and said, you are the son of a kept mistress. You are Dasi Putra. And you are advising us against our own interests in favor of our Pandavas. Get out of this place. He banished. Although Vidura is an elder person, a responsible minister of Hastinapur, still Duryodhan banished Vidura. And Vidura went. And Vidura never saw that, oh, this is created by Maya. Vidura saw this as a benediction. Vidura saw that as an opportunity to be relieved from all this politics of uh, Hastinapur kingdom and just take shelter of Krishna by going to some pilgrimage places and purifying himself by taking bath in so many holy rivers and hearing Krishna Katha from Maitreya and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Maitreya. He saw it as a manifestation of the Lord's spiritual energy, not material energy. Similarly, when somebody has health crisis, so we know some devotees who faced health crisis, they felt that Krishna is helping me become more prayerful, more dependent on him. In this sick period, I am able to remember Krishna better. I am intensifying my absorption in Krishna better. I am also tasting the love and affection of so many devotees. When we are healthy, doing so many active services, there may be some devotees who may be criticizing us or being envious of us or discouraging us in some way. Right? Sometimes it happens. When one sadhaka is doing some service, another struggling sadhaka or immature sadhaka may pass some comments and the relationship may have some strain. It happens. But when this devotee is sick, he's feeling all the devotees are kind. Earlier, I had certain perception about this devotee is like this devotee is like that. So I could not recognize this devotee's good qualities. But now when I am sick, he's helping me. So I can recognize his Vaishnava qualities. So that sick period helped this devotee to become more grateful and appreciative of other devotees rather than perceiving envy or pride in them. That's good. Any situation, however materially unpleasant it may be, if it is helping us become more prayerful, if it is helping us become more fixed up in Krishna consciousness, become more meditative, and if it is helping us uh, to appreciate the good qualities of other devotees, that's great. Let's welcome it. As Kunti Maharani says, Vipadaha Santudaha Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshanam Yasyat Apunar Bhavadarshanam. The focus is not inviting calamities there. The focus is on connecting with Krishna. She's saying, let me connect with Krishna better. And if this calamity is giving me an opportunity to connect with Krishna better, I welcome that calamity. I welcome that difficulties. Let more difficulties come, no matter, no problem. As long as I'm able to become more prayerful towards Krishna. So that's the understanding of a devotee. For a devotee, even the worst material difficulty, it could be sickness also, it could be something else or something else also. That also is a boon. It's mercy. In fact, that sickness will help us realize that we are not these bodies. This body is meant to give us pain. And this body is giving me so much pain, so much of pain. And in that sick period, we will realize that we are not the bodies. We will become detached from this body. When we're having some financial crisis, then we'll realize no wealth belongs to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. When we have health crisis, this body doesn't belong to me. I need to give up this body. So we become more and more spiritually conscious when we have material problems. We become detached from the material world and material body when we have material problems. and that helps us in chanting better. Every opportunity, let's see every situation in life as an opportunity to intensify our absorption in the holy names of Krishna. Our absorption, sincerely chanting the names of Krishna, 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 Krishna. If something is helping us to this end, that's welcome. Even if it is sickness. Yes, there is trouble. I personally went through so many health issues. That's fine. As long as it is helping us to be more and more connected to Krishna, remember Krishna, 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 that's fine. That's very good. That's invited. We can become more detached from this material world in a healthy state of existence, in a very comfortable state of existence. We may forget Krishna conveniently. Material prosperity and material pleasures may make us forget Krishna, but material problems may help us remember Krishna. Of course, we have to remember Krishna even in prosperity, not only in problems. But an average conditioned soul may not be able to remember Krishna in prosperity. Therefore, problem in life is a boon.
Okay, so looks like that's all questions we have, Prabhuji. I have one if you.
Okay.
So regarding this criticism you mentioned, so mind works in such a way that it always justifies the criticism. We criticize, those who are junior to us, and mind says, oh, I'm supposed to help correct. We criticize seniors, and mind says, oh, we are supposed to, make them lead the right way. We criticize our peers because, okay, we are well-wishers. So in any situation, every situation with everybody, mind just justifies that I am right and I'm doing right. And I'm, try to point out. So how do we understand, like, some practical tips? So how do we really understand that this is not right? And
Let's keep the mind aside for a moment.
Mm.
Let intelligence analyze whether our criticism is valid or invalid, good or bad, well-wishing or fault-finding. So let's keep the mind on a low profile and let's bring the analytical, spiritual, shastric, spiritual intelligence to come forward and analyze the situation.
Spiritual intelligence.
My say I have a critical mentality. I criticize somebody. Mind says, yes, it's good. You're a well-wisher of the person. You're the savior of the whole world. By criticism, we are just uplifting the consciousness of all fallen souls, all degraded souls. So you're refining their consciousness. That's great. Yes, please do it. Mind may say that. Okay. Let's not listen to the mind for a moment. Let's listen to our intelligence. What does intelligence say? Is this criticism really required or unnecessary? Is this criticism really well-wishing or an expression of one's superiority complex? Is this criticism done in a mood of boasting or bragging about one's own prowess and discouraging or demeaning the other person, or actually you're trying to help them uplift? And people also will understand it. I know some devotees found some fault in me, but they are doing it out of their genuine concern that I need to grow. I could recognize it. And some people found fault in me. I understand. Oh, they don't have concern about me. They're frustrated with me. That's all. They're frustrated with something that I have done. Therefore, they are saying it. So people get the vibes. Of course, we are not Paramatma to completely understand their moods. Sometimes when people are criticizing us with genuine intention, also we may misunderstand them. That is also there. But generally speaking, people get the vibes. If people can get the vibes of our criticism, why can't we understand those vibes within us? It's originating from us. Therefore, we are in a better position to evaluate whether our criticism is right or wrong. So let's keep the mind aside, let's keep the ego aside, let intelligence come in front. Mind is just a storehouse of emotions and feelings and desires and thoughts. Mind has no analytical ability. Intelligence does that analysis. All this discrimination, discernment, analysis, rational thinking, logic, all these are aspects of intelligence. Let's use our intelligence. And also let's take assistance from other devotees. When you're criticizing, you may not directly say this person is for you. You can't directly go to the person and then point out. At least present your thoughts in front of another mature devotee. I'm thinking like this. I'm thinking what he's doing is wrong. What do you think? Then they may highlight the good qualities of the other devotee. They may say, "Arey, you are thinking like this, but there's a reason behind what he has done." Then they will give another perspective, positive perspective. Then your perception will change. with my intelligence, with my understanding, with my experience, I'm feeling that what he has done is wrong. Let me share it with another mature devotee, not anybody. Otherwise, when we share with a person who also has some great shot, that person, both of us will just do gossip, and then our negativity towards the person will increase. It will become double. But at least go to a neutral kind of person and mature person, and then express your views confidentially, just only to get a perspective. Only to get a more mature and positive perspective. Oh, I'm thinking that he has done something wrong, but looks like you have a better understanding of this person. Then that kind of mature discussions will refine our perspectives towards other people, so that we don't unnecessarily judge them and become offenders. Because we want to chant, and that critical mentality is not allowing us to chant properly. It's coming in between me and Krishna. I'm not being prayerful because of this negative outlook that I have towards these devotees. Then what's the point of doing something or indulging in something that's killing our absorption and holiness? So much. Right? It affects our consciousness. Sometimes it's required. Although we are not inclined, we are pulled into evaluating somebody. Hey, he's like this, he's like that. Let's. You have to rectify. As I said, we may have to surrender. But if there is an opportunity, let's stay away from it as much as possible. But without any official responsibility or authority, if we start unnecessarily blaspheming and criticizing and finding fault with someone, that comes in our absorption, that obstructs our absorption in bhakti. It's not worth it. It wastes our time. Okay, shall we conclude here?
Okay, thank you very much.
Question,
so, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you all very, very much. And we'll see you this evening for another wonderful session. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jagat